Hi, everybody. This is Joseph. This another day. I'm inviting for all those who are going to be watching today, and I welcome you all. If it's your first time, I kindly request you that you may subscribe to my channel, YouTube channel. You can see the subscribe button on the top right bottom, on the bottom right of this video. And for those who are regular on my channel, please welcome back. And today we're gonna be talking about trucking in the United States, trucking business. The United States trucking industry is one of the largest revenue streams in the nation's economy and is responsible for transporting 70% of all goods in the U.S. in 2019. The industry's total revenue reached $791 billion. Aside from the transportations of goods, the trucking industry employs millions of workers, making up about 6% of the nation's workforce. While the industry is a foundational sector of our economy, there are many different factors that are starting to change the way the industry performs. With the ongoing driver shortages and the rise in self-driving trucks, we may start to see a shift in the way this industry operates. Read on to find out some key trucking industry statistics regarding the current state of the industry and future projections. These are some of the statistics of trucking industry in the United States. Over 80% of the nation's freight bill came from trucking revenue in 2019. There were 928,647 for-hire carriers and 799,342 private carriers on file in April 2020 in the trucking industry. 13.4% of all registered vehicles are commercial trucks in the United States. The industry's total revenue reached $791 billion in 2019. So according to these statistics, without the trucking industry, our nation would not be the same, as it is essential industry that help keep us afloat. Since the trucking and freight industry is such a lucrative source of income for the nation's economy, a lot of businesses rely on it for their everyday operations. The industry represents more than half of the nation's freight bill, and without it, our economy would suffer. For-hire carriers and private carriers make up most of the nation's trucking companies. So American Trucking Association, trucking moved 11.84 billion tons of freight in 2019. American Trucking Association, economics and industry data. We have some data given of statistical data. 11.84 billion tons of freight was moved in 2019. Trucks moved a total of $772 billion worth of freight in 2019. The trucking industry is responsible for transporting 70% of the nation's goods. Trucks transported 67.7% of goods between the U.S. and Canada in 2019. The trucking industry is responsible for transporting goods all over the nation, as well as our bordering countries, not to mention Canada and Mexico. Freight trucks carry a variety of consumer goods, everything from food to cars or raw materials and oil. As the American Trucking Association put it, every good in the U.S. has been on a truck at some point in its journey. Wow. So then we have what we call employment, demographic, and composition. Women make up 6.7% of the truck drivers in the U.S. 41.5% of drivers are minorities. That's a huge number for the minorities or the immigrants, mostly immigrants. 7.95 million people held trucking-related jobs in 2019. This is a huge industry in the United States. The average hourly wage for employees in the trucking industry is $26 per hour. So that's $26 an hour. That's the average pay for a trucker or a truck driver. It's no secret that the trucking industry is primarily a male-dominant workforce. Though it's a racially diverse industry, there was only about a 2% increase in the amount of women employed in the last 18 years, and recruiting female drivers is a problem the industry continues to face. The industry's average median salary is not very competitive compared to other sectors, which may contribute to the high turnover rate and difficulty in recruiting drivers. So statistics again on driver shortages. The trucking industry was short 60,800 drivers in 2018. The truck driver shortage could reach 160,000 by the year 2028. So there is a dire shortage of truck drivers right now in the United States. And if you are skilled with truck driving, if you have a commercial driver license, this is the high chance that you can secure a trucking job very easily. And especially after the pandemic, the jobs are back home. The whole country is opening up again. It's reopening. So all the jobs that were dormant now, they are coming up back again. So to combat the driver shortage, the industry will need to hire an average of 100,000 drivers per year. That's a huge number. 54% of new hires will be needed to replace retired drivers. That's another big number. One of the leading problems the industry is currently facing is the shortage of truck drivers. According to the American Trucking Association, the industry has been struggling with this problem on and off since 2015. One of the leading causes keeping the driver shortage high, the high average age of the current workforce. With the average age of truck drivers reaching 46 years and above, these existing drivers will start to retire, and the industry is struggling to replace them. Aside from that, more companies are cracking down on safety prioritization and are having trouble finding qualified drivers. There is too much restrictions for the drivers or for the drivers' owners, and this is the trucking industry is manipulated or is operated by the federal government. So you can tell with that there is imposition of very high restrictions in the trucking business, because the government of the United States is controlling this industry directly. Liabilities. We have liabilities in the trucking business. Accidents and freight driver safety statistics. The average cost of loss related to a freight vehicle accident is $70,000. Anytime there is an accident, there is a liability of at least $70,000. It involves the medical insurances, collision insurances, and everything to do. Is a very expensive. In case of an accident, the accidents are very expensive when it comes to the trucking. Over 4,000 people died in large truck crashes in 2018. It's one of the most dangerous category of motor vehicle. And in case they are accidents, they are normally fatal, very deadly. Since you can tell with the big size of these machines. Most of the time, there are no survivors when there are collisions, when there are accidents. It's really fatal, and the consequences are fatal. Insurance premiums for trucking companies are totaling around $12,000 to $14,000, and that's not per year, that's per month. It's annual. So you have to pay an average of $12,000 to $14,000 a year just for the insurance of the truck. And then 3% of crash deaths involving large trucks occurred on freeways and interstates. Mind you, these big trucks, they normally operate on the large highways, on the big interstates, they're not very on the local streets. So they normally operate on the big highway and freeways, interstates, connecting from state to state mostly. With the amount of miles freight drivers have to travel daily mixed with the long hours and hard working conditions, it's no surprise that accidents and crashes happen. Of course, over the years, the industry has seen an increase in crashes leading to fatalities. These types of accidents usually occur from distracted driving and other driving behaviors. Trucking companies have also started to see an increase in insurance premium due to the accidents. With this in mind, companies are starting to take driver safety more seriously to avoid any liabilities. Depending on the circumstances around the incident, the driver or the company could be liable. The cargo manufacturer or loader could also be responsible should there be any issues when transporting freight. In these instances, a freight broker board could protect the shippers or carrier. So they are very expensive insurances, very comprehensive insurances incurred or involved in the trucking businesses. You must cover yourself with a comprehensive insurance in case of an accident, in case of a crash, in case of a damage of your truck, in case of loss or damage of the freight or the cargo or the goods you're carrying or you're transporting. You need to be covered. Otherwise, it's going to be a very, very complicated financial issue when it comes to or operating, tracking your truck without insurance. It's going to cost you a lot. Then we have the new emergence of the self-driving trucks and the future of trucking. The global self-driving truck market is expected to reach $1,700 million in 2025. More than half of small businesses believe freights will be completely autonomous in 20 years. In a study conducted by TU Simple, they found that their self-driving trucks were 10% more fuel efficient than traditional trucks. So this is a new thing, and I think according to the statistics and according to how things are going on with the trucking business or trucking industry, I think there will be a major so many people will be laid off, since this will be a self-driving trucks. You don't need a driver on that. You don't need any other. So the drivers, so it will be a driverless season for this trucking industry. So time is coming when this trucking industry, they're gonna no need drivers, since the technologies have come up. The technology have gone beyond. They have raised the bars too high, that they may not need any clue in this transport or in this class of transportation class of big trucks. So let's take advantage when there is room for drivers right now, before the drivers are not needed in the trucking business. The two simple self-driving technology can help save about 42 million metric tons of carbon dioxide emissions per year. So this driverless or self-drive truck, instead of consuming, they won't be consuming gas, they will be charged. They will be using charge. So, with the eliminations of the gas or petrol or any kind of fuel, or so it will be they will be energy sufficient. Number two, they will reduce the carbon this the carbon consumptions, which which we're talking about, they will reduce the pollution and emissions, which is caused by fuel. So pollution will be drastically reduced, since they will be energy sufficient and they won't be using fuel, which causes air pollution. So self-driving automobiles have started to make their way into the U.S. trucking industry, where many believe that this could put drivers out of work. These trucks still need human supervision, and could be a solution to the driver shortage in the industry, as they can provide opportunities for people who wouldn't have considered becoming a driver before. Autonomous trucks can also help decrease the chances of driver accidents on the road. Most trucking accidents are caused by human errors, but so far with this technology, error is extremely minimal. It's going to be extremely minimal. So San Diego-based company, which is TU Simple, has already started testing their self-driving trucks, and predict these trucks will not only have a positive impact on the industry, but the environment as well. The TU Simple said their technology is aimed at transforming the trucking industry by reducing carbon emissions, lowering costs, and increasing safety. Though the trucking industry has gone through major shifts in recent years, it still remains one of the nation's most profitable sectors. Self-driving trucks could be the future of the trucking industry and help solve the current problems it faces. New technology can seem scary to an industry that's been doing well for years, but embracing this change can create a safer industry and contribute to a safer environment overall. So with the trucking is a major industry in the United States, as we have seen. It is one of the major industry. It's one of the major hiring industry too, employment in industry or field, because right now there is a shortage of the truck drivers and crew of the like. And so if you have skills of commercial truck driving license, if you have a commercial driving license or skills, this is the best time to apply for these positions. And mostly they don't require too much experience. Mostly they ask for between 6 to 2 years, between 6 months to 2 years. If you have that, most of the jobs they ask even for 5 years experience. But trucking, as long as you have the skills, you have the license, it's very easy to get a job through the trucking industry. And as we have said and we have seen, before this industry becomes a driverless, the trucks are going to be driverless very soon. So I'm advising or I'm appealing to those who got these skills to step in and get into the industry. You make your money before, it lasts. And you don't want to regret and say, you wish you knew. So with those few remarks, please, thank you for watching my video. And if you haven't subscribed, I kindly ask you that you may subscribe, and so that you won't be missing my video anytime I upload. So whenever you subscribe, you are guaranteed that you're gonna be, getting notifications for my videos or for my live stream anytime I do live stream or upload. So with those few remarks, my friends, thank you so much. You have a good night and you have a good day for those who are on daytime. And may God bless. I see you later next time.